Hello again. I'm back with another endometriosis video, and this time I want to talk about basically some theories that the doctors have on how endometriosis start and develop. There's a lot of theories, but I want to touch bases on the 5 most popular theories that they have so far, and maybe this can give you some understanding of why there are so many theories and why there's technically no cure or no understanding pretty much of what's going on. Because in the theories itself, you will see that with each case that it is different. So I feel that that's why it seems that the theories go for each specific case, opposed to being just a wide theory as to why everybody gets endometriosis when they have to go case by case. So one of the first theories that they have is what is called retrograde menstruation. So retrograde menstruation basically is when you are in your on your menstrual cycle, some of your blood flows backwards throughout your fallopian tubes into the pelvic cavity instead of out of the body. So I'm guessing that with that process, it causes the scar tissue to inflame. It doesn't really state, they don't state why they think that, how they see it happen. There's just a theory that they have that happens. So it's still like, well, if that's what evidence do you have, or why do you have that theory? That one is still a little confusing to me. When I started doing my research on this today, that was the first time I've heard of that specific theory. I've heard of a lot of the other ones, but and apparently that's like one of the number one theories that doctors have. I'm not sure if that's like a new theory that just came out, because I've never heard that before, but it is documented in a lot of the doctor research that they're doing now. As of the last 2 or 3 years, they're looking into that. And number 2, we're looking into what is called endometriosis cell transport. That is when the endometrial tissue can be transported into other areas of the body. It can be transferred throughout the blood or the lymph node systems, similar to how cancer cells spread. Endometriosis cells may also attach to the walls of the abdomen after surgery. So after you have your first initial surgery, and they can go in and they can clean up all the endometriosis, but because you're open, it can attach to the walls while you're open. So even though they're going in and doing surgery and cutting out the endometriosis tissue, it builds scar tissue with that, and also the endometriosis spreads more rapid every time they open you up. For some reason, they still haven't figured out why, but that's it. When you have a progressive form of endometriosis, there are different types of forms of endometriosis. Also, I will get into that another day, and explain that to you. But basically, that's what happens when the endometrial cell transfer. And then the next thing is that they think that it's something to do with the immune system. So the immune system usually prevents tissue from spreading from one organ to another part of the body. However, environmental toxins and other things can damage the immune system, allowing the body to grow endometriosis cells outside of the uterus. So whether that could be external, outside of your body, environmental, or it can be environmental inside of your body. Like I said before, an example of an environmental mishap in their immune system that can cause is just like the perforation of the Mirena, like I had. So by the Mirena perforating through my cervix, through my endometrium wall, through all of that down there, that caused a change in the environment in itself, because it left a hole in the environment for everything to go out. Because all they did was remove the IUD. They didn't sew the hole back up that was there. They didn't do anything to the hole that was left from the IUD that was in there. They just took it out. That was it. Number 4 most common theory that they have is hormone imbalance. So your hormones may play a role in transferring perinatal cells. I'm sorry. I think that's how you pronounce it. Perinatal cells, which is the lining on the inside of your stomach, on your abdomen wall. And those cells turn similar into the cells that's in the endometrium lining, which causes the endometriosis to also spread. And then the 5th most common theory on how you get endometriosis is genetics. Basically, it shows up more in some families than it does in others. So that gives them a reason to look into thinking that possibly it could be running your family. So, like I said, there's no formula that they have, and I think it's all based off how your symptoms come on and what symptoms you have. And I think that's the hardest thing about treating endometriosis, is that everyone has different symptoms. Even I have people in my family that have it. I have friends that have it. And none of our symptoms are the same. None of our severity is the same. Some of us could work, some of us can't. And we all experience our endometriosis in different forms. Some of them is gastrointestinal, to where I should say this. One person I know is gastrointestinal to the point where they can't stop going. Mine is gastrointestinal to the point that I'm always nauseated and vomiting. Mostly nauseated, like 95% of the time. And then sometimes I vomited. And then I know someone else who has their symptoms shows up in really, really, really bad back pain, to the point that their back is always aching. And they can't do too much of anything. And then there's another person I know who shows up really bad to the point that it's just that they have excruciating menstrual cycles. Their menstrual cycles is terrible. They can't get out of bed. They can't do anything. They can't take care of themselves, and they can't go to work. And we all have the same disease, and we all experience it different. We all live different lives. So as I said before, you're not alone. No two people experience endometriosis is the same. So that's why there are so many misconceptions of how we are with how some people are just dramatic, and others like, well, I knew someone who had endometriosis and they didn't barely complain about it. They just said they had cramps when they came on their period. Okay, that's them. Congratulations. Not to downplay one person's endometriosis over the other, but just saying, oh, well, they just had cramps, or I just had cramps. It seems like you're just downplaying us because we're in excruciating pain, and they can't even agree on how we get endometriosis in the first place. So, I don't think until they figure that out, we'll ever get a cure. But please like, subscribe, and share. And if you have anything that you would like for me to research and do some deep diving in on some more endometriosis topics, I'm just starting out with this channel. Eventually I'll get better over time. I'm bad with speaking. I'm nervous. So I just stepped out on faith, and I'm doing this because I'm tired of being in pain and being misinformed. So I'm quite sure there is a lot of women tired of being in pain and being informed. And hopefully we can be an endo community that can inform each other. So have a good night, everyone, and I'll check in with you later.